A lot of people moving to the Twin Cities right now are nervous, not just about price, not just about interest rate, about where they're actually going to feel comfortable living. Between rising costs, non-stop headlines across parts of Minneapolis and St. Paul, and just the general uncertainty people feel moving somewhere unfamiliar, buyers are becoming way more intentional about where they choose to live. That's especially true for first-time homebuyers and relocation clients. Nobody wants to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars and then immediately feel stressed about the environment around them. So in this video, I'm going to break down several Twin City suburbs and cities that buyers keep gravitating towards because it feels safer, more stable, and still relatively affordable compared to some of the more expensive areas around Minneapolis and St. Paul. And no, this is not going to be some generic top suburbs list, because the real question people are asking right now is, where can I actually build a comfortable life without financially suffocating myself? That's a very different conversation. Before we jump in, what matters more to you right now? Being closer to the cities or feeling calmer and more settled day to day? Most buyers realize pretty quickly that they care more about one than the other. First up is Eagan. Balance is the reason so many relocate buyers end up here. Location helps a lot. You're between Minneapolis and St. Paul, closer to major highways and not far from the airport. At the same time, the overall environment tends to feel calmer and more predictable than some areas closer to the core cities. That emotional difference matters more than people expect after relocating. Daily life in Eagan usually feels manageable. The neighborhood feels established, errands are easy, traffic is reasonable compared to many parts of the metro. Housing option also gives buyers flexibility. Townhouses, older family homes, and newer development all exist here depending on your budget. Compared to some premium suburbs nearby, buyers often feel like they're still getting value without sacrificing comfort. Nightlife is not really the draw here, stability is. And honestly, that's exactly what many buyers are looking for right now. Modern and comfortable are usually the first impressions buyers have of Maple Grove. Driving through the area feels noticeably different than many older parts of the metro. Newer shopping centers, newer development, and updated infrastructure create an environment that feels easy to transition into. Relocation buyers love that, especially people leaving larger cities where everything already feels stressful and overstimulating. Maple Grove gives many buyers psychological relief the second they arrive. Homes also tend to feel newer overall. Open layouts, updated finishes, and move-in-ready properties reduce a lot of the anxiety first-time homebuyers have about surprise repairs and older systems. Distance becomes a trade-off. Downtown Minneapolis is not next door. Frequent commuting may eventually feel the drive time. Remote and hybrid workers usually care far less. For buyers prioritizing comfort, newer housing, and safer feeling suburban environment, Maple Grove continues growing faster for a reason. And honestly, this is where a lot of buyers split. Would you rather have a newer suburb and more space and comfort, or stay closer to the cities even if you feel busier and more unpredictable? Drop that in the comments, because people usually lean hard one direction when they think about their routine. Woodbury attracts buyers who want consistency. Everything about the area feels structured, neighborhoods feel planned out, shopping amenities are nearby, and the overall pace feels calmer and more organized. Many first-time homebuyers moving to Minnesota are not looking for consistent activities anymore. They want routine. Woodbury gives them that. Compared to some of the inner city neighborhoods that have felt more uncertain recently, buyers often describe Woodbury as feeling easier for their day-to-day. The emotional comfort matters a lot after moving somewhere unfamiliar. Prices still feel more manageable than several higher-end suburbs near Minneapolis. Walkability and nightlife are not the focus there. Long-term livability is. Affordability pressure is pushing more buyers towards Shakopee right now. Monthly payments matter. People are trying to avoid becoming financially trapped by housing costs, especially with higher rates and rising expenses everywhere else. Shakopee is still giving buyers opportunity to give newer homes and more space while keeping payments more realistic compared to many nearby suburbs. Growth has also accelerated in this area. Developments continue expanding, infrastructure keeps improving, and more buyers keep paying attention to it. That creates momentum, and now the trade-off is change. Rapid growth always changes traffic patterns, prices, and overall feel over time. But for the buyers who want affordability without feeling isolated from the metro, Shakopee continues to make a lot of sense. Roseville is probably the most underrated area on this list. Location is what makes it stand out. Positioned between Minneapolis and St. Paul gives buyers flexibility in both directions. Commuting becomes easier, your daily errands become easier, getting around the metros feels simply overall. At the same time, Roseville feels more established than newer, outringing suburbs. Mature trees, older neighborhoods, and rooted community creates a different atmosphere emotionally. Some buyers strongly prefer that feeling. Compared to parts of Minneapolis where people currently feel more uncertainty surrounding demonstration, enforcement activities, and overall tension, Roseville often feels more stable and predictable day to day. Inventory can become the challenge here because desirable homes do not always hit the market consistently. Still, buyers prioritizing convenience and comfort tend to love this area once they spend some time there. Okay, so far, which area feels closer to the kind of lifestyle you want? More modern like Maple Grove, more balanced like Eagan, more established like Roseville? The answer usually tells buyers more than the price ever will. Searching for the absolute cheapest place to live in is usually how people end up unhappy after relocating. Financial stress matters, but emotional stress matters too. Feeling uneasy in your environment every day eventually catches up to you. That's why buyers are becoming more intentional now about where they live, not just what they pay. The right area is usually the one where your routine feels sustainable emotionally and financially. The Twin Cities still have areas where buyers can find strong value, calmer environments, and community that feels stable long term. Finding the right fit comes down to understanding what kind of lifestyle actually makes you feel comfortable once the move is over. That's the part most relocation buyers underestimate. If you're thinking about narrowing down where you should focus based on your budget, commute, and the kind of environment you want day to day, feel free and reach out. More Twin City breakdowns are coming soon, covering neighborhoods, relocation strategies, affordability, and what living here actually feels like beyond the headlines.